Today we're going to dive into the exciting world of being a drone pilot on a film set. It's not just about capturing amazing aerial shots, it's about being prepared for the unexpected and making sure your footage looks as professional as possible. So grab your popcorn because I'm going to show you 6 essential things you need as a drone pilot, and trust me, the last one is a game changer. Let's go. G'day superstars, although my day job is a real estate photographer, I have worked on many short films and independent features as well. I've been on set as a gopher, a DOP and a camera operator. But over the last few years, I've taken on a role as a drone pilot for film production. And that's what we're going to be talking about here today. Being on a film set versus being a real estate drone pilot is vastly different. In real estate, you follow a basic set of requirements. An agent wants a certain shot, certain way, and they're all the same. They're all very similar. Everyone has their own little quirks, but mainly real estate photos are the same. Same angles, same altitude, same everything. But on a film set, you're filming long hours, you're filming at night time, you're also filming in remote locations, and you're filming in varying weather conditions as well. So you need to make sure you have the right equipment to make your job easier and to get you out of trouble if you need to. So let's talk about the essential things I think you need on a film set for your drone. Some of these items are aimed at DJI Mavic 3, and the reason I picked that model of drone is because you're going to need a drone that is a bit more capable in stronger winds, but you also don't want to go over budget by buying a massive drone to start out. So when you're starting out, you can use smaller drones of course, but I would recommend this is probably a good starting point. Or you can pick up a Mavic 2 Pro secondhand and that will do just as well, which is what I mostly use anyway. Alright, first on the list is this convertible carry bag by DJI. What I like most about this bag is it can be converted into a shoulder bag, so you can set it on the ground and put your gear close to you when you're filming, which is great, especially if you're alone. You know your gear is right there. But it can also be converted to a backpack, which is fantastic when you have to walk long distances or carry your gear with you. Some of these locations are quite remote, and let's face it, not all film sets are conveniently located in your own backyard. If you're liking this content, feel free to tap that like button, it really helps me out. And of course, as usual, all the links to these items are in the description if you need them. This next item I've used many times is a light for your drone. Now it's not a strobe light, it's more like a torch light. When filming at night, this really helps for extra light when landing. And I know that the Mavic has landing lights, don't get me wrong, they are fantastic. But this light points forward so you can see your surroundings a little bit more when you're landing, which is very helpful. But where I've used this the most though is when a director wants a specific shot. Quite often you'll get a shot where they say, can you fly through some trees at night time, or can you fly in a cave or in a ravine or in an alley or a valley? That extra lights up the area like a torch light and can look like somebody's walking through these surroundings. This next one is really cheap, but it's really essential. It's a lanyard strap for your controller. And the reason it's essential is sometimes, in fact quite often, you'll be filming alone. If you have an assistant with you or someone that can help you, that's great, but that's not always the case. And the reason this works really well for you is if you have to change your batteries in your drone, or if you have to put ND filters on your drone, you don't have to put your controller down in the dirt or the mud or the water. Sometimes you could be standing in 2 feet of water. You don't want to put your controller down if you don't have to. So you just let it hang by your side, do what you need to do, pick it up, and away you go again. And of course, if you didn't have this and you were just juggling between changing batteries and putting ND filters on, you could drop the controller or the drone. I have a question for you. Have you ever tried to view your screen in bright sunlight or intense light? If you're standing in intense sun or really bright light, it's almost impossible to see what's happening on your drone screen. Now, of course, this doesn't apply to FPV drones because they have the goggles on, but for other drone pilots, this is an essential item, and it's a sunshade for your drone controller. Of course, if you can find some shade, definitely get into that, but sometimes the only shade I've ever had is my own hat, which is this. That's not going to cut it when it comes to seeing what's on your screen. So I always make sure I buy one of these every time I upgrade my drone, so I've got one on hand whenever I need it. And it's also really good for keeping dust off your controller screen as well, especially if you're in a windy area and it's dusty. While we're on the subject of bright sunlight, you definitely will need a set of ND filters for your drone. ND filters play a crucial role in balancing exposure with your shots. And how ND filters work is basically like applying sunglasses to your drone lens. Without ND filters, if you're filming in bright sunlight, you would find that if you exposed for your highlights, all your shadows will be really dark. And if you exposed for your shadows, all your highlights will be blown out. So usually you would pick the middle and try and fix it in post, bring up your shadows, bring down your highlights, and try and even it out. But if you have the ND filters on, it actually evens out those exposure levels, so your highlights are more manageable and your shadows are more manageable. But it also makes your footage look more cinematic and professional. Plus, your drone looks pretty cool in sunglasses. As I said earlier, sometimes you're in remote locations where there's no power, and unless you have like 14 batteries for your drone, you may run out of drone batteries. So I always like to make sure that I carry a power bank with me so I can charge my phone, charge the controller, and charge drone batteries if I need them. Keep in mind the power bank you use has to have the ability to jumpstart your car as well. And the main reason being is quite often you're filming at night, and the work area where everyone sets up is quite often lit by random LED lights and headlights from the cars. And if you don't end up with a flat battery, the odds are somebody else will, so it's good to have one of these on hand. Also, every now and then you'll have a pedantic director that wants a shot done a specific way, and he'll make you shoot a shot over and over and over again. That'll just chew through your drone batteries. So being able to charge on the fly and make your director's job easier is an essential thing. It'll do two things. One, the production will go smoother. Two, it'll make you look like you're very professional and he'll get you back for the next job. And three, you get to go home earlier if you're all prepared and ready to go. There are, of course, a lot of problems and solutions that aren't covered here, but these are just the ones that I've encountered myself. And of course, if you're like me, you love looking at drone products and accessories. And if that's the case, I've done a video here about a whole bunch of them. So click that now and I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching.